Welcome back to Not Another Nuts podcast with your host Ajay and Harp, brought to you by Loudmouth Brewing. For the best beers and burgers in town, visit Loudmouth Brewing in Abbotsford. Ajay, what the hell, man? This team looked unstoppable, and now they look miserable as hell, right? The
Yeah.
team looks like they given up on the coach. They lost against Montreal. To Foley, we just ran out of time. The same old meme, and now we're getting rocked by Toronto.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on how things went?
Just horrible. Like I don't know what the hell is going on with this team. We went from a team that was contending, not for the cup, but just like a team that was promised to contend for the playoffs, and they showed so much promise during the playoff run, and then to come into this season. And granted, like last week when we spoke, I was one that was preaching like, dude, we just gotta calm down, like they gotta work out their systems. But no, man, like these guys just they just given up. I don't know what the hell is going on. They've given up on the coach. They've given up on the management. They've given up on the fans. Like to be honest,
Yeah.
like the core is still there from last year. Like granted, like I know we lost a lot of players, but the core is still there. And like PD, while he's hit like 8 or 10 posts, he hasn't done anything, right? Like Bo's been scoring, but like I don't know, man. Like you would just expect a captain of a Canadian marquee. Like when a team is in the dumps, he needs to really kind of grab the team by the balls and just kind of carry. And he hasn't really shown that. JT Miller is just one of those. I know you saw that, right? JT Miller, like he's just kind of
Oh,
throwing
so bad.
tantrums, man.
Fuck.
Like he went from a player that Benning was, saying, oh, this guy's like showing so much leadership to like this like pathetic, like 99 just kind of swearing and just like slamming the door and just showing zero effort, like Hopi called him out after the fourth or fifth goal.
Yeah.
Man, it's just so frustrating to watch this team skate out and just get shit kicked, man. Like after the 7-3 loss against Toronto, you would have expected them to come out flying
Yeah.
on Saturday night. And
Dude,
like
yeah.
5 minutes in, the shots are 5-0 for Toronto.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's so frustrating because pretty much what you said, it's not the fact that they're losing, right? You look at Ottawa, right? I know they're losing, but they're a young team rebuilding and they're trying every night, right? But these guys aren't even trying. It's the fact.
No.
It's not the fact that they're losing. It's how they're losing again and
Yeah.
again and again and again. They just don't give a shit,
Yeah.
And like you made up a good point. The season can be summed up with just Miller's back check when Hopi got mad at him,
Yeah.
right? He just like let Matthews walk in nonchalantly, take the puck away, and do his thing, and he just kind of skated right straight to the bench, right? He didn't do jack all, and
Yeah.
it's just it's so frustrating to watch, man. But my question is this: who are you blaming right now?
I mean, I think the blame has to be squarely on the team. Um, like, I know you've always preached, and I agree with like this 100%. Like, we've never shown a lot of defensive structure, but we've shown more than what we're doing right now. The team, whether they've given up on Green or Benning, like regardless, it's pathetic. Like you guys are professionals, you're getting paid millions of dollars. Like
Yeah,
I don't care if you're upset that Benning traded or didn't like sign your best friend or whatever like that. You guys are paid millions of dollars. Show some care, man. Like you have a massive fan base that tunes in and like supports you guys. The fact that you've given up not only on the coach and the GM but the fans is pathetic. I'm so pissed off. Um, but unfortunately, I think Green's gonna get the axe, and that's really sad because he, to me, like I thought he was a great coach for us for like a young team. He had shown a lot of good coaching instincts, especially against the series against St. Louis, where he outcoached a Stanley Cup winning coach, right? Like
yeah,
he was making really good adjustments and whatnot. But unfortunately, coming into the season with him not getting a contract, I think is gonna unfortunately backfire on him. And I think he's gonna get the axe.
yeah. Like if it was up to me, I would fire Baumgartner first and just
Oh, for sure.
send a
Yeah.
message to Travis Green and be like, "Yo, I know this is your boy. This is pretty much what you said. You're not being hired without this guy, but I'm sorry, he has to go. Either both you guys are going, or just he's going, and we're getting someone here that can implement some sort of defensive structure. Because this team has no structure, no defense, no identity. Right
Yeah.
now, they are literally in shambles. They suck. So if we could do that." That'd be awesome. But I definitely agree with you. I think, unfortunately, Green is going to get the axe. You know, I know there's a lot of people on Twitter right now that are blaming Benning. We could be blaming Benning all fucking day, right?
Yeah,
Literally all day. But the
and
thing is this.
he does deserve the blame though. Like,
Absolutely. He does
yeah,
deserve
okay,
some of the blame. And the thing is this, though, you know, when it comes to Markey and Tanev, long term wise, looking at our core and how we want to build it, it
yeah,
didn't make sense to sign those
yeah,
guys, right? We weren't going to match those contracts, right? But the thing is this: when Markey, we almost lost like a leader of the Swedes, pretty much, right? After the
yeah.
Sedins left, Edler was kind of that guy. But the thing is, Edler has always kind of been the more quiet one in the room. It seems like, right? He's not the one to kind
Hmm.
of speak up and get the team riled up. He's kind of like Steady Eddie. That's what everyone calls him, Steady Eddie. Markey was more of the one who had like the mental prowess to kind of get people engaged, get people ignited, right? And just plays so well. He's such a competitor. We lost him. Okay, I get that. The thing about losing Tanev is this. Not only did we lose Tanev as a pretty good defensive defenseman, right? We lost the player that pretty much coaches the defense, dude. The entire defense seems like it ran through Tanev, right? He pretty much set
Yeah,
up how people are going to play. He really led that defensive group. Baumgartner is not doing shit all. And I can argue that since Green has been hired, our defense has always been shit. You know, no matter what players we have now, you can argue that this year our defense is better than last year. We got Schmidt. Schmidt is definitely an upgrade over Tanev. That's a fact, right?
yeah.
But the way Schmidt is playing, you'll never know that, right? Hamonic is injured right now. I know Stetcher, he's doing okay in Detroit.
Detroit, yeah,
He had a really good game today. But the thing is,
yeah. But I
overall,
mean,
man.
but like Stretcher, like we've seen him here for what 4 or 5 years.
Mhm,
He wasn't that great. Like
yeah,
he's a great bottom 6, 7 player, but he was not going to make a difference.
yeah,
He was not right. Like
yeah, absolutely,
and like yeah, he's playing well on a Detroit Red Wings team, but that team sucks. Like you would
yeah,
expect him to be the best defenseman, but he's got 3 assists in 13 games. Like that's nothing to write home about. So like I know people keep bringing him up, but like guys, come on, like if we had Stetcher here, our team would still suck. Like
yeah,
these guys just don't know how to play well in a defensive unit.
yeah.
But I don't know.
You know, with the whole Toffoli situation, right? Like our top six, I know Hoglander came in and he's playing really good, but he's the
Yeah,
only one out there that looks like he gives a shit. Honestly,
yeah,
PD looks like crap. No offense, but he does
yeah.
not
He
look
does.
like same PD. Miller, who was like igniting the fan base with passion and his tenacity and his work ethic. Dude, like you said before, this guy is bitching nonstop, complaining, crying, slamming the door, you know, screaming, swearing, and he has zero back check. Hope he got in a fight with him last game about not back checking on Matthews, right?
Yeah,
So it's just the same thing over and over again. And you can tell the coach has definitely lost the group. Yeah, they might be mad at Benny, but guess what? Benny actually, to be honest, you could argue that the team isn't significantly worse than last year, right? But the thing is,
yeah.
they're
Like
playing significantly worse. The talent's there,
yeah,
they're just not fucking playing, and it's so frustrating. But yeah, I think after this, I think tomorrow is the last game against Toronto, and then we
yeah.
have 7 straight
Two
games at
games.
home, I believe.
Yeah, and
Um,
I think they have a 2 day break in
yeah.
between that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
So even with travel, yeah. So they got 2 game break, and I think with the way that's gonna work is I think something's got to give, man. Here's the problem though. There's no money, right? Are we gonna
yeah.
fire Green and hire someone else? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, okay, so money is the first issue. Like Aquilini's have no money. I
Hmm.
think they've kind of shown that by not giving Green that contract extension after that playoff run.
Yeah,
But the second wrinkle, though, that not a lot of people have talked about is COVID.
yeah,
If we hire a coach that's currently living in U.S., he has to quarantine for 14 days. So is it like Jim Benning like
yeah,
coaching the team for 2 weeks? Like no. So um, you basically are then forced to hire a coach that is currently living in Canada, right? So like, but I think the first issue is probably the biggest issue is the money issue. Like the fact that there's no revenue coming in. It's a short season. I think what the Aquilinis will probably do is just kind of ride it out. If the team goes to shit, then Green and Benning will probably just get canned.
yeah.
Um, and then we'll just kind of bring in a new management system. But yeah, I think if Green can't turn it around, I don't think he is surviving the season. But I don't see a coaching change, no matter how bad things get. Just kind of given COVID, it just doesn't make sense.
So we ride out Green the entire year.
Yeah,
no matter how bad it gets.
I think so. I mean, like, what are they supposed to do? Like the owners have no money, and then with COVID, you can't really hire a coach unless he's living in Canada already. And then the flip side, I've heard, and I think this might be a rumor, but I heard that the contract extension that Benning got last year, there's a clause in that that says that if he doesn't make the playoffs, his contract is void.
Oh shit.
But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know that, like,
Yeah.
if that's a fact, but I've heard that's a potential rumor, which is why Benning was trying so hard to make the playoffs last year to save his job essentially.
Yeah.
But I I don't know, like, do you see like a coaching change like soon?
Well, here's the thing, right? Last year it was so important to make the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I know we're saying that we want to make the playoffs to give the team experience, to give our young core experience, right? But it's
Hmm.
starting to seem like it was just for Benny to save his ass, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is this: if it was so important to get that playoff experience last year, why the hell are we sticking with such a shitty situation now where we're kind of stuck in limbo? We got this amazing talent on our team, but we continuously play like crap. And the team's obviously trying to send a message, right? But no one's listening. And it's so counterproductive, right? Like, wouldn't it be better to just ask him now, get an interim coach that tests negative, is a Canadian, hire someone, and then just keep him going for the rest of the year or something, or get an interim coach for the remainder of the year, right? Um, this way you kind of stop the bleeding a bit. But the fact that last year was all about making the playoffs, making the playoffs, making the playoffs,
Hmm.
making a push, right? And now this year is, oh, okay, how do we stop the bleeding? How do we stop bleeding? Like, it's so counterproductive, right? We sacrifice so much just to take a giant step back now. It's just, it doesn't make sense. It's so stupid. And unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah, I think Green is gone, man. He's lost the room. I think after Toronto, after tomorrow, if they lose on the home swing, I think he's gonna be gone. And
But like,
yeah.
one thing that like I just can't wrap my head around is how did he lose the groove? Like, when we faced Winnipeg, they played so well. They played with a
Yeah.
purpose. The team had a complete buy-in. And then how does the switch flip from Winnipeg to Montreal?
I think, to be honest, some of the players that we lost, right? They were players that really kept the room together. You know, they kept personalities in check. They kept the room together, and everyone played pretty well, right? Even you're talking about the captain Bo before. Even with him, he doesn't seem like a crazy vocal leader. You know,
No.
he doesn't seem like a very energetic kind of guy. He seems like he just like leads by example and shows what's
Yeah.
up and gets it done. Right, a very
Hmm.
steady player. But the thing is, like, you look at Tanev, you look at Markstrom, right, and you look at Toffoli, and you know, even the player, even like the coaching staff that we lost, like Malhotra, man, dude, like we lost Malhotra to Toronto. Right now, he's setting up their power play. Toronto's power play is clicking at almost 50%, and their face-off percentage is almost top in the league. You know,
It is top.
we lost that to
Yeah.
who the guy we have now, who's continuously regressed year over year. Man, it's just like, why are we sticking with these old guys that just suck? You know, like, why not just Malhotra? He was pretty much entering his prime as a coach. Like, he could probably become our coach now and do better on the team than Green is doing, man. But it's just one of those things. It's so freaking frustrating, dude. I honestly think that after Toronto, there's a chance that Green gets axed. You know, and I think Green feels it too because in his interviews,
Yeah.
um, he doesn't seem like he has much energy anymore. He's just like, man, fuck this now. Like, I'm done. I feel like I'm done. They're not listening. Everything is kind of a shit show. I can definitely see him being let go after Monday, so tomorrow, and
Yeah.
just being done, man. Like, they'll get an interim coach that tests negative, and he's from Canada or he's from BC, and they'll ride it out until something happens. I don't know if Trent Cull is the guy, but I know he's in
Well,
America though.
I think yeah. So I think he's in Utica. But do you really think that would save the season?
No,
I don't
but
think it would.
I think it's gonna send a message. That's the thing. I think at this point it's supposed to send a message,
To who?
and the players. And look at it this way, Aquilini's, man. One thing that always gets brought up by Aquilini, and I love him as a local owner. You know, like, he
Yeah.
put so much into the team. But the thing is this, I'm very grateful. But one thing he likes to do is send a message. You know, and I know when what do you call it? Tortorella was signed only for the 1 year, right? And before the Blues took him, or sorry, Columbus,
Yeah.
that was pretty much to send a message. He got a hard-nosed coach to
Mm.
get the Sedins going, so I can almost imagine something like that happening. But I don't know, man. It's just a shit show right now. I'd rather fire him now, and it's just either we fire him now or we just keep bleeding the rest of the year and we lose all of that experience that we got from the playoffs. That's how I honestly feel.
Not only that though, like yeah, we would lose the experience, but we're essentially burning the last year of like PD's and Hughes's entry level contract, which is
Yeah,
like a massive window. Like I don't think people quite understand like how great of a chance we have this year. Like
yeah,
we only have to face these Canadian teams, and like to be honest, like yeah, like Toronto shit kicked us, but they're not that great. Like we can
yeah,
take them. Like if if we face that Toronto team with the team that we had last season,
yeah.
we beat them in the playoffs,
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
right? Like so, like we have a road path to the Western Conference Final
yeah,
where we basically just have to beat two good teams, and like depending on injuries and stuff, like this is our chance to go to the cup final and maybe winning it, right? Like,
yeah,
and the fact that this season is just gone by the wayside is so frustrating, man. Like,
yeah,
and yeah, like the Aquilinis, they don't have money. I get that, but like, and I hate saying this because like you, I like the fact that they're like local owners. They, they're from like East Van. They do a lot of support in that area. But like, if you guys don't have money in like a Canadian hockey market where like like Toronto are owned by Rogers and Bell, where like their money is just long. Winnipeg is owned by one of the like fourth or fifth like richest Canadian. Um, like maybe it's
Oilers.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like but like maybe it's time for them to sell the team if
yeah,
like because clearly like the Canucks are a cash cow for their other businesses, and if their
yeah,
other businesses are struggling, then the Canucks have to suffer because of that,
yeah,
which is unfair to the fans, right? Like, because if like he had like endless money, he would have like fired Green and got a top notch coach, like someone that you've been championing on Twitter, like George Gallant, who
yeah,
might have mentioned lives in PEI, which is in Canada, so he doesn't need to do a 14-day quarantine, but he's going to cost too much. He's going to cost easily 4 to 5 million, and if he wasn't willing to pay Green 2.53 million, like there's no way that he's going to pay a top coach like Gallant 5 million. So
true.
I
Uh,
think we're screwed this year, and it's really unfortunate.
to be honest, I think we're screwed next year too. This is
Yep.
why. Because the thing is, as you know, in Canada, like the vaccine rollout is a little slow, right? And I know a lot of people are kind of complaining about things going back to normal. And I know like we're trying to do the best we can, but
Yeah.
um, the Aquilinis are in the hospitality business, right? I mean, I haven't looked in their books. I don't know what's going on in their accounting balance sheets and whatnot, right? But the thing is, there's no end in sight right now.
Yeah.
The COVID issue can go on for until next year, right? So that's another year of revenue lost, right? And if they're not getting support in the other businesses, who knows how far they can go down? And
Yeah.
honestly, it's only going to affect the Canucks more and more. We couldn't even buy out Sutter. Like Sutter doesn't really bring much to the team. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like we're losing 7-0, 5-0 every night. We have the most 5 goal differential like losses than any other team, right, in the league right now. And the thing
That's
is, like,
crazy.
what's the point of having us paying like $4 or $5 million to these players that are getting so much money and not doing what they're supposed to do? They're supposed to be defensive players. We're giving up so many goals every game, so obviously this is it's just a waste of money, right?
Yeah.
I was looking at this thing, like Sutter and Vertanen this year cost pretty much the same amount as no, sorry, Louis Erickson and Sutter
And Sutter, yeah.
cost the same amount as Toffoli and Markey, and it's just such a shit show. At this point, I'm not gonna lie, I would have kept Markey long term, and potentially would have looked at possibilities to trade Demko if that got us
Flipping.
like a first or something. It'd been like a
Yeah, I
Sean
mean,
Snyder situation all over again. But
yeah,
Markey's in his prime right now for the next 4 or 5 years, dude. You know, like,
yeah,
yeah, it is what it is,
yeah.
bro.
I was actually thinking about that. I was like, shit, like maybe we should have just signed Markey and just flipped Demko after that like amazing playoff run. But the
Yeah,
fact that Demko is so young, like you just don't want to give up on that promise.
yeah, yeah,
But I don't know, man. Like obviously, like hindsight's 2020, and we
yeah,
had a proven commodity in Markstrom, but
Yeah.
6 years of that 6 mil, like we've already signed someone to that contract, and it kind of backfired. And I mean, I think Marky probably has 2 good years in him before his injuries kind of catch up to him. And like we've kind of seen it with like during the playoff run, like he is a bit injury prone.
Yeah.
But anyways, like there's no point in like talking about players that are now like no longer with us. But I don't know, man. Like this team is just
It's in
in
shambles,
a
man.
it's a bad situation.
Before we, I guess, kind of wrap up, I want to ask you, what do you think are some changes that need to be made for this team to turn it around this season?
I think like before changes kind of happen, I'm a bit surprised they haven't called a players only meeting.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But can they, like, with
Like
COVID? Like, I mean, other teams have
yeah,
done
like
it.
yeah, Calgary called one like a week after their season started when like they were playing bad,
Yeah,
right? Like
they turned it around.
this is a massive test for Bo's leadership, and I honestly think he's failing at it right now. Like he just
Yeah,
hasn't shown like, and he doesn't need to be a big rah type of captain. He just needs to be able to see when the team needs like a meeting or something like that. And like you know what, like maybe they have had it and we just don't know. But
yeah.
from all like that we've kind of heard and seen, like they haven't called a players only meeting. They should have called one like a week ago, but they haven't yet. And I'm a bit surprised about that. But getting back to your question, I just had to kind of get that off my chest. But back to your question about what changes.
Sorry, man, I gotta go back to that. You really think that you're putting that much blame on Bo, eh?
Yeah, he's been scoring, and I do agree with you. Like he does lead by example in terms of his on ice play, but when you're a captain in like a Canadian market, you have to be able to read the temperature of the room, right? And
Yeah.
like you don't need to come up with some crazy speech, but you have to be able to kind of figure out where the team is lacking and like whether it's like a meeting or whether you need to call someone out or just kind of have like a face-to-face meeting. He just doesn't seem like that type of captain, and like maybe he is like, and I just don't know because obviously like I don't have that information, but from just all that I've seen, he seems a bit timid in this situation because there are a
Yeah.
lot of personalities in the locker room with like JT Miller and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you see Bo kind of going up to JT Miller and just kind of like telling him off? Like,
No, I see JT Miller
I
telling
don't,
him
because
off.
like, yeah, like, yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
like last year, I think I had heard Bo kind of yell at Vertanen, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I just don't know if he has the balls to do that to like a more senior player.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, like those are just my thoughts.
I agree. And to be honest, this is where players like Tanev and Marky do play a role, right? And you have like, because you can tell, man, our power play coach, what's his name again?
Neil Brown.
Yeah, Neil Brown. He's not doing shit. Nothing has changed since last year and the year before. Nothing has changed. Right, we're doing the same shit right now with
Since 2011, it's
yeah, the drop pass, man, the drop pass.
same
And
thing, same
yeah,
thing.
and same with Green and Baumgartner. I mean, the defensive structure has never been there. You can argue since day one, but the thing is this. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Bo's that guy, but I do not put the blame on him. I think you know what. If anything, I'm definitely gonna blame COVID. Right, this team looks tired as fuck. I know they've been playing like 15 games in the first. Like they play more games than anyone else. They look exhausted out there. But at the same time, too, man, like
That's true.
it's got to be shared. But a huge thing is on. I'm putting a lot of the blame on the coach right now. You know, you can put the blame on Benny if you want,
Yeah.
right? But you know what? Like he can't do shit right now on the ice. You know, and Andrew Walker actually yesterday just made a really good point. We should not be losing this bad to Toronto. Like their young stars and our
Yeah.
young stars aren't far off when they're playing at their top potential, you know. But it just we're not even playing well, right? So, but anyway, I want to touch up on Vertanen quickly. A lot of rumors of him being traded. I know we touched about it last week,
Mm.
but apparently one name that's floating around now is DeBrusk, and I know he is not playing and he hasn't really played much, but there's a lot of rumors that he might get traded for DeBrusk.
Yeah, I was actually quite surprised by that, and
Yeah.
maybe you might know this more than I do, but DeBrusk, from what I have seen, he was a pretty productive player with Boston. So also I'm surprised to hear that he hasn't been playing well or like that much this season. Like, do you know what happened? Because he was like they're like young stars that was like really playing well, putting up points, scoring. So what happened with them?
I think the biggest thing is he wanted out, apparently. That's the biggest rumor that
Ah,
for a while now, I think he's been wanting out. He doesn't like the way the systems are kind of being implemented. He doesn't feel like he's getting a lot of the minutes that he deserves compared to other players.
mm,
I'm
okay.
not sure what his contract's at, but yeah, I mean, he's only played 6 games this year, dude, and he has 1 assist. I'm not sure if he's injured or if something else has happened, but
Yeah.
he's definitely being scratched a lot. He's a left wing, shoots the left. I don't know if it's like attitude issues or what's going on with him. Like you said,
Yeah.
he was an up and coming kid. I would do that trade in a heartbeat. I think Vertanen's done
Me
here.
too.
His tenure is done here. We wasted 2 million on him that we could have put towards Toffoli. I
Or a
think
coach.
yeah. So or a coach, correct, absolutely correct. So it is what it is. But yeah, going back to the original question. Yeah, man. I think if anything needs to change right now, it's got to be. I think the coach is fired. I don't think anything else changes. I think that's it. He's done. He's out. Um, that's it. I wouldn't be
Should we start
surprised.
a should we start a Kickstarter for Gerard Gallant if
Yeah,
if the Aquilini needs some money
yeah. Well, that's
to
Rogers
get
too, coming halfway too, man. But there's no hope in sight right now, man. The way the team's playing,
none.
I don't see them turning it around. I really don't see them turning it around.
No. And
Yeah.
like the crazy thing too though is like as bad as it is, like their record, granted they've played a lot of games, their record isn't that bad.
Yeah.
Like they're still kind of in it, but I just don't see them being able to make the necessary changes to turn this thing around. Like, so I agree with you. Like last week, I was Mr. Positivity. I was, like, like I was trying to preach patience, and they will come around. And nah, man,
No,
I don't know what the hell is going on.
it's done. We got a few, like positives you could say, right? Hughes, I think Hughes has had a terrible year so far defensively, but
Yeah,
he's fourth right now with 15 points in league scoring right now. That's pretty crazy.
yeah,
I know Petey's struggling, but the thing is, you can tell that he still has generally some shots. Um, what do you call it? Besser has 9 goals now, so he's league leading or tied, I think, right
yeah.
now with goals. But that being said, going back to the original question, what needs to change? Um, you know what? Yeah, Green is gone. I think they need to change up some of the players. I think Sutter needs to go. I think a few of the guys that are eating up a lot of money in the bottom 6 need to go, and like someone like
Roussel needs to go as well.
sorry,
Roussel.
yeah, I was thinking that too. I was just about to say that Roussel, like we have a lot of players that don't move the meter. They're there,
Yeah,
but nothing happens, right? And
yeah,
Vertan needs to go. McEwen, he's young enough where I still keep him around.
yeah. I like
You
him.
know, besides that though, Godet also, man, Godet's one of those things. Like I just don't see him moving the needle anymore, and I've kind of my perception on Godet has changed quite a bit now.
Yeah,
I just think that he's just not going to be here for much longer. I can see he's been scratched for quite a while now. I mean Bailey played so well as a first game yesterday,
hmm,
and I thought he played really well with Hoglander and Sutter. But dude, that's the thing, man. Like if we could trade Vertanen for like say Bennett or something, Bennett immediately could take a role in our third line center, and make it better. And unfortunately, man, we got to make some changes. Like change has to come, or it's gonna be like it's not gonna be a rebuild. We have the pieces in place.
no,
Doing
yeah,
a rebuild would be stupid and it doesn't make sense at all.
no,
And I know Bo Horvat mentioned that he said he doesn't want to go through it again, and to be honest, no one does.
no one
Right?
does. Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, I can see Benning gone too by the end of this year. But I can definitely say that we should make a bet on this, right?
Okay.
We can shotgun Jake something, right? I know you
Yeah.
don't drink, but you can do a bubbly, and I'll do like a beer, right? And we can do that, and we can see if I'm saying that tomorrow, if they lose again that badly,
Yeah.
um, you know what? I'll put it this way: our homestand that's about to come up, if we play very bad in our homestand, right?
Yeah.
I think Green is gone, or
Mm.
and then that's my bet. Do you think we keep him for the whole year?
Yeah.
Okay, we're
Because
broke, man. We're broke.
there's just no money, man. Like
Yeah,
seriously, there's just no money, and which sucks. Because like honestly, like Gallant's a really good coach. I
yeah,
think Vegas screwed up by letting him go. Florida screwed up by letting him go. And granted, you can make the argument like, why are these teams letting this caliber of a coach go? Maybe there's something else to it. I honestly think he's a great coach, and with like the pieces that we have, I think he's the guy to kind of guide this team. But
I agree. But
I'm
to be
not the
honest,
one. Yeah,
Florida didn't just let him go. They left him at the curb. Like that's fucked up, dude.
that was a curbside pickup before it started.
No, seriously, man. You want a coach? Just come to that corner, bro. Anyways, this is good, man. Honestly, the team's fucked. They're playing so
Yeah.
bad. I hate watching them. I literally watched 2 pairs and I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna go focus on some homework or some shit.
I can't
Or
even make it through 2.
yeah, or even like some office work or hang out with a family. But we'll see what tomorrow brings. I'm hoping that they can shit kick Toronto and just bring it and do something, and the team wakes up, man. Because they got to realize Green's job's on line, but you know what? They're playing like they don't care, and they're playing like they almost want Green gone, and they
Yeah.
need someone there that can actually put some structure together. And to be honest, this is a complaint I've heard from a few people. They're playing like an AHL team, and these are insiders that we've talked to, like in the media world. They play like
Mhm.
insiders, and they play like AHLers. They're
Yeah.
coached like AHLers, and
Ooh.
there are few players, some new, some old, that are saying that they're being coached with no structure and they don't like it anymore. All right. So that's just something that I've
Oh
been
wow.
hearing, and I don't know the accuracy of it. Obviously, I can't drop names or anything, but
Drop him.
no, I can't. I won't get in trouble. But all right, man. You know, fuck it. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep drinking as long as they're losing, dude. Like that's how I cope.
Or they win,
All right.
regardless.
Cheers, buddy.
All
See you
right,
next
man.
week.
Yeah, take care.